Hey y'all. Hey. Okay. It's Saturday, Labor Day weekend. It is 4:21 p.m. I just wanted to say a few things. I never know really what I'm gonna say when I get on here. I just kind of ask God for guidance to kind of help me get the word through, or that I deliver the word in a way to where everybody can receive it. However it hits you, you receive it to where it helps you. So I'm here doing that. I sat and thought about what I could speak about, but it wasn't really hitting me to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna speak on that. I'm gonna talk about that. But it dawned on me. I broke something in my house months ago. But anyway, I went to go move something, so some of the broken glass had fell, I guess inside of what I was moving or something like that. But the glass ended up cutting my finger, okay? But I didn't even notice that I was bleeding until I walked away to go do something else. And that something else was to go just take a minute before I hopped on here, take a minute to just think some more, to just kind of gather my thoughts, try to get me together and all of that. So it wasn't until I walked away that I noticed that I was bleeding. See what I'm saying? So it just hit me right there, and I was like, you know what? That's it. That is it. A lot of times, okay, you need to just walk away. You need to walk away so that you can think. You need to walk away so that you can gather your thoughts. And in those moments where you're thinking and everything is quiet and the birds are chirping and the wind is blowing, is when you might just realize that you're bleeding. So when it comes down to things that maybe you're feeling like stressed out, okay? You're feeling like so much like, oh, what do I do? You could take a minute. If you just take a minute, just say, you know what? Let me just stop right here and let me just walk away. Let me just see, let me just go step away, take a mental break. You might just realize that you're bleeding. You'll notice where you're bleeding from, and you'll realize what needs some healing. Okay. One thing that I do want everybody, like it can't hit anybody, I would say, for one, when it comes down to kind of healing yourself, who you have in that circle, make sure you got genuine people around you that can help in your healing process, to help you really just, mend what is broken. Maybe if it's a physical cut and you're bleeding, that friend will, patch you up. They got some gauze, they got some alcohol, some peroxide, a Band-Aid, whatever you need. Same thing if it's mental or emotional. Make sure that they can feed your mind, give you words of inspiration, help you stay the course if you're trying to get to a certain place and maybe you're just stressed out and you've had enough, or they give you the strength to get through from leaving a certain place. Make sure that your friends feed you in a positive way, so that you get what you need out of it. Um, guys, don't try not to burn your bridges. Okay? If you know you got someone that's in your corner, you know, maybe y'all aren't seeing eye to eye right now, but you know that this person really does care about your well-being, care about where you end up and how you end up, don't want you to be tortured or, put in a bad position. Make sure that you don't leave things on a bad note. Make sure that you don't hold back, or make sure you allow, especially if you allow, make sure that you allow them to be able to speak. Okay? Because they may very well have what you need. Just that very thing that you need. Now, a lot of times we don't want to hear some stuff. Some stuff we don't want to hear because it's not what we want to hear. But a lot of the times, what we don't want to hear is the very thing that we need to hear. Sometimes we may not be in the mood to look ourselves in the mirror. We may not want to face the truth of the matter of, face who we are. Look at have a reflection of ourselves being told to us by someone who loves us, has our best interests at heart, but we may not want to hear it. But you don't shut that person out. Don't shut that person out completely. Because I personally feel like God has a funny way of doing some things. I'm telling you, he has a funny way. Okay. I used to remember the times like when I would be in church. And, in no judgment, I would be in church. And you may just see somebody in church that you hadn't even seen in a very long time. Okay? But they know where to go. They got something big coming up the next week. Maybe they have court coming up next week. So that Sunday before that week, they go to church. Because they know somewhere deep down inside, even though they don't acknowledge it any other time, somewhere deep down inside, they feel like that higher power is going to come through for them. Okay? They want the best possible outcome next week. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you got to take that and place it with how you feel about people who he has placed in your life. You know what I'm saying? A dead giveaway would be somebody that, maybe it's somebody that's been placed in your life and y'all are nothing alike. You party all the time, you do this, you do that, and y'all are nothing alike really. So obviously, they weren't sent to you to be a party buddy. This person, they may be very prayerful. They may be very spiritually gifted. They may have that third eye, something that you need to see, something the knowledge that you need to know, the words that you need to hear. They may just have that for you. Be careful who you shut out of your life. Because what if, because God has a funny way of doing things. You have the opportunity to use your voice. Your mouth actually moves. Words actually come out of your mouth. You shut out a person. You don't speak to that person. Because of ego, because of pride, okay? You don't have anything for this person. And it's not because the person has done anything to you. It's just that your ego is bruised. Because, once again, this person is a person that carries truth. They only believe in truth. They only believe in truth. They only believe in something being exactly what it is. If you don't have the truth to tell them, they're not having it. And they don't have a lot to tell you. But that could upset you. And once again, that's what makes you two different. But just be mindful of that, because that very thing, especially if the person is asking you, well, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even have to go beyond a certain point. But hey, talk to me. Let's have the conversation. Talk to me. And if we want to take our paths go this way after that conversation, then guess what? We parted as adults. No love lost. You go your way, I'm going to go mine. Okay? That's just not burning your bridge. You may just need this person to pray for you a little later. Okay? But let's just say you live life very fast and on the edge. Okay? You have the ability to speak. You got words for everybody, but the person that's going to be praying the hardest, that's never, did anything behind your back to try to cause any harm to your life. They're always there. Somehow they're always there. It's like a swinging door. It's never really closed. It closes, but it's never locked. But when you feel like not talking, you go on a blocking spree and you don't have anything to say to this person, but like I said, what if the power, what if you're abusing your power? Because you have the power to press block. Because you have the power to press ignore. Because you have the power to not talk back. Because you have that power, but you're abusing it. Because the very person that you're not giving words to, that's deserving of it, you're not giving the words to. But if you're talking, you got plenty of words basically for everybody that you can kind of deal without. You got plenty of words for them. But what if that ability is taken away from you? What if you have the power to speak one day and the next day you don't? Just what if? I mean, we live in that kind of world right now. We live in a world where people say good night and they don't get up the next day. We live in a world where people leave the house and they don't get to come back home. They don't come back home. So what if you have the power to do something today that your ego and your pride want to allow you to do, because you don't know when taking it too far is taking it too far, and you don't have that same capability tomorrow? What then? What if you say something that you can't undo? Because everything is a game. Everything is a game. What if you spend so much time running away from situations just for you to run yourself right into a ditch? Or run yourself right into a messed up situation to where you need people to pull you up out of it. And the very person that you want right there, right beside you, and you would love access to, and you would want to hear their voice, and you would want their prayers, and you would want their hand. You don't have that ability anymore. Because you didn't know when You were doing too much. So it's okay to know when you've had enough. Know when to walk away from situations that mean you no good. But don't chalk up something that's meant for your growth as a bad situation, because what the person says is not what you want to hear. Okay? That doesn't, if they're not disrespecting you by trying to say, hey, how about we try it this way? And you have a temper tantrum because, no, I want it my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. Just being unfair. But just keep that in mind, y'all, because God is he's a just God. He is all about justice. He is all about eye for an eye. You know, what you put out there is eventually what you get back. You know, so be mindful of that. Now, I'm not saying, okay, if you have an abuser or something like that, calling your line, somebody done abuse you and you just, no, I'm not, no, don't answer the phone. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you know that somebody has been good to you, but you just cannot recognize your own mistakes and your own mishaps. You do no wrong, which is impossible because none of us are perfect. But you're so high up to where you don't have to speak. You don't have to do what's necessary to mend certain things. You don't have that same Band-Aid to give a person. They'll give you a Band-Aid, but you don't have one for them. So they're bleeding out. Just make sure that what you want out of life, you're willing to give. That's it. Just make sure whatever you want that you're willing to give. And make sure that if you have the ability to speak, take that chance, because tomorrow is not promised. I promise you that. And one thing you don't want to do is end up in a position or leave before your time, before you can right some of those wrongs. You'll be loved nonetheless. But one thing you want to do when it comes down to Judgment Day is be okay with God. That's all you want. That should be your only goal at the end of the day. Just ask yourselves, are you ready? If your time was in the next 2 hours, would you be ready? Just ask yourself that. You can't fix it all in one day, but start now. If there's somebody that you know you need to reach out to, you owe them an apology, you know that it's something you need to replace, it's something you've been talking about doing for them for the longest, or, you know, if you know you've got an empty promise out there somewhere, an unfulfilled promise, try to go fulfill it. Just start with one. And I promise you, when you start with that one, all the rest of them get so much easier to fulfill. And then you won't be handing out empty promises. You won't. You'll make sure that everything that comes out your mouth, you can carry through. You plan to carry through with your word. So just start somewhere. Just start. Call that person. Apologize. Nothing has to come of it. hey, I just wanted to, I just wanted to apologize for that one time, such and such. Do it. Send it through a text if you don't want to call. If you just know it's a way that it'll get to them. Because maybe if you call them, they probably won't pick up the phone. Because, if you hurt them so bad. I'm not a big grudge holder, though. I'm not. So if somebody calls me and I see they're calling and, I'm the type that I actually pick up the phone. Because I don't have, I'll be like, hello? But other than that, it'll be cool, So just do what you need to do. Be ready. You got legs, use them. If your heart ain't cold, please reach out. Apologize. Get right with yourself and others. And in turn, you'll be getting right with God at the same time. Don't be so high up. Do not let pride determine where you go when you leave here. Because you got unfinished business. Handle your business. All right. Y'all have a great day. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Labor Day is Monday. Y'all know it's still COVID season. So try not to be breathing in everybody's face. Keep your distance, 6 feet or 9, whatever. Just make sure you stay safe, guys, because this very thing that I'm speaking of right now, and then I said 2 days. Oh, I hope I ain't put my foot in my mouth with that one, because I am not saying that, y'all. I want y'all, y'all be like, that girl said 2 days. Look, wear your mask if you're going to be out and about. So everything gonna be good, though. I hope y'all have a good, safe, happy holiday, okay? Bye. Talk to y'all next time.